The man's right here.
What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing, sir? Mr.
lady.
Goldberg. Looks like you're in the Goldberg garage right now.
Yeah, you can only see half of it, but yeah, man, this is where I spend my, 90% of my life.
Hey, it's pretty. It's got some nice little cars in there.
Well, if you call 1,000 horsepower cars pretty, then yeah. I don't really call them pretty, but my wife's Grenadier is pretty comparatively. My sleigh is pretty.
Yeah, hey, let me tell you, one man I don't want to offend is you. You know what I mean?
Good, man.
I've seen you spur quite a few dudes, you know.
You ain't
crazy.
gonna offend me, man. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, so how you been, Mr. Goldberg? Everybody hold on. First of all, let me go ahead and give you the proper entrance here. Okay. So we do have the born and raised in Tulsa. I believe you played a little baseball, a little football, a little wrestling in high school. Right?
Man, I did it all. I didn't wrestle in high school. I played baseball.
Yeah.
Played basketball. Nobody ever dunked on me because I fouled everyone.
Hey, they took a chance trying to dunk on you. I'll tell you that much right now.
100%. So, I'm a knuckle dragging football guy. So, I mean, that's kind of my identity. That's all I ever wanted to do. When that got taken away from me, I took my clothes off, put my BVDs on, and started beating people up in front of millions of people. Other than that, I'm just living the life. I was going to ask you about that too.
That's one thing I did want to ask you about. The first time you ever walked out in front of millions of people in your BVDs, how did that feel? Did you have to get used to it, or were you just like, man, let's do this?
No, I mean, it sucked. I gotta be honest, man. I mean, there's nothing left to the imagination, I guess. But it was tough for me because I was a football player who was paid to smash guys.
Yeah.
And now I took all the pads off. Everybody sees who I am to the nth degree, and I'm having to act like I'm beating people up. So I mean, it was a very strange transition. It's like somebody driving monster trucks and then trying to go into driving an F1 course.
Oh, very different. Very different.
Right? So, I mean, it was from one end of the spectrum to the next,
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I mean, those monster trucks get pretty brutal too. But, man, I just, in my research, and you're my favorite wrestler, so I told you, I heard a lot of dudes trying to, spear guys like you did, man. And before you came along, Sting and Lex Luger, I was just telling my aunt, I put my brother, when I was 2 years old, I put my older brother in the total package. He was 10.
Nice.
So at that point in time, I knew I had something.
Hey, well, I'm going to tell one of my wrestling experiences. And it kind of happened more by osmosis because the guy didn't know how to fight. I gave a guy a DDT in a Kroger's parking lot one time.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, he ducked his head and charged me, and it just so happened it went right under my arm, and I just, bam, flipped him back. And
hey, we call that perfect timing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And fortunately, you didn't kill him, and he didn't sue you. So that's
No, I had to run and jump in the car with my wife and my oldest daughter to hurry up and leave.
Well, I unfortunately I've gotten a lot of people in trouble throughout the years trying to replicate my stuff, but I like to say it's nothing more than a football tackle. That's all it is, and it allowed me to continually live out my dream of being a professional football player, even though I ventured into a different realm. So
absolutely, man. You had a lot of success in both. I didn't realize, you were All SEC, 1988. It's some names on that All SEC team, or 88, 89 season, what it was, right? 121 tackles at nose guard. What in the world were you doing to the centers, bruh?
Smashing them.
Yeah. Like just throwing them into the running back and the quarterback, or what?
I took football very seriously, man. My best friend played right next to me, a guy named Larry Brown, who unfortunately is not with us anymore. But we that was my life, man. You weren't running the ball past me, and you were gonna know that you played against somebody after the game. I guarantee you, because if I didn't rip your face mask off, I was gonna try. So,
man, there was a movie back in the day called The Program. Like, I see that being your character in college football. Is that similar?
1,000%. You remember the wrestling character Goldberg?
Yeah.
That was me. That was me. I mean, it's nothing but it's nothing but an extension of who I am, right? And that was my mentality on the football field, with clothes and pads on, right? So I live my life, you know, as a human being, as a football player, as a wrestler, as an actor, as a car guy, the same way. So you kind of get the same Goldberg and all of the above.
For sure. And I tell you what, you one stand-up man. You know, I met you in Colorado. You don't know this. Coach Ray was my offensive guard, my defensive tackle in high school. It's funny because I thought I was Dion and he thought he was Warren Sapp, and now they're all on the same staff. You know?
Exactly.
So pretty cool. But you don't know me from Adam, and you met me that night. You told me you come on. You said, hey, give me a few months. I got some things going on, some big announcements coming up, and I do want to ask you about that here in a little bit. But
you can ask me anything you want, man. I'm a man of my word, and you and I connected in a very short period of time. And a man is only as good as his word.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely
exactly
right.
what I was getting at.
I like to treat people the way I like to be treated. It's a very simple thing in life. It's something that people have completely overlooked these days. Yeah. And I'm no different than my father, and my son is no different than me. Oh, yeah. And Dion is the same way, and that's why he and I have always connected. You know, we were teammates for 4 years, and we continue to be friends, and now I entrust him with my son's future, right? And so you can't bestow trust upon an individual much more than that, because my son is my wife and I's life. Yeah. And so, you know, we're
55 Gage coming right at you, man.
Boom. I hope so, man. He needs to, he's gained some weight in the off season. And I want you to know that in the stat book for 2024, I believe that Gage made the last tackle and the last penalty for Colorado in 2024.
Earned it.
He earned it.
I love it.
Sure,
hey, make them feel it. Make them feel it, you know? So, absolutely. I mean, there's so much to talk about, so many questions I could ask, man. I guess I'll start, you know, in my research, and my uncle was telling me, he was like, I think Goldberg had some family in wrestling, and I knew you love football just from what I knew, and your special move was straight off the football field, right? The spear. But your grandfather, Joe Goldberg, was a fighter back in the day. I know, you know, wrestling wasn't too huge back then, but that's very cool and all. But your mom was the one that you were watching wrestling with, right? Sportatorium days?
I actually watched it with my grandmother.
Okay, okay.
That's the only really tie I had with wrestling, except for the fact that both my older brothers, who are 16 and 18 years older than me, they were both. So the Selman brothers and the Goldberg brothers are the only two families in Oklahoma history to have 3 all-state football players, right?
Nice.
And so I followed in my brother's footsteps. They went to the University of Minnesota, and ironically, my brother Steve had a house with Ric Flair in college.
Wow.
Oh my.
Like what are the chances of that?
Holy cow. Like what? Just listening to your stories, and I listen to a lot of different things. It's a lot of what are the chances of that happening that took place in your life.
Yeah,
you know?
well, here's another one. My older brother Mike went after Ken Patera with a hatchet one time.
Oh my!
Because in the blood.
I know all these people you're talking about.
Patera went to the University of Minnesota, and this was during. My brothers are so old. You know, this is back when Patera was, I think, competing for the Olympics back in 70. 72, something like that.
72, 1972. I remember all that. You know, because I'm quite a bit older than you, so I'm probably
you ain't
one
that
of
much
your
older
brothers.
than me, man.
Hey. You'd be surprised.
Well, you're looking good. You're looking good.
Oh, thank you. No.
I'll be older than me. You got.
I'll be 70. I'll be 70 in July.
Nice. Hey, well, happy early birthday in July, and my brother's got 4 years on you.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not gonna talk about his brothers. That's a family
I'm
of
the youngest,
15 right there. You know?
Good God.
We don't want to talk about that.
But all 3 of us are the youngest brothers in the family, so we got that in common too. We love football. I know I got a little crazy in me too now, Goldberg. You know, the little football like the way we do. Yeah, you got to have a little crazy in you. And I apologize. I feel so rude. I didn't introduce our first lady of F1, Miss Christiana Yerba, to you. She's here. I knew she had a few things she wanted to say as well, but I got to calm down.
Nice to meet you, Christiana.
Hi, nice to meet you too. No, and don't feel rude at all. You're literally shining off the screen. This is the most excited I've ever seen these two guys. So nice to meet you. I did a little bit of research too, but I have to tell you that I have about 3 friends on the planet, and 3 of them are wrestling fans. So Nora, Sarah, and Sam are watching right now because they heard you were going to be here. I don't think they've watched any other episodes, but they're here because of all people in the world. They are massive fans, so you have to say hi to them. Thank you for joining. I asked Jonathan how you guys got connected. You were early and on time. Bless you for that.
First and foremost, thank you. It's very nice to meet you, and hello to your friends. And I feel quite honored, number one, that these two are excited to have me on the show today, but your friends tune in to the first episode of what you're doing because of me. But I greatly appreciate that. And the fact is that, as you can see behind me, I'm no different than any other car guy, right? I'm just a normal dude. I'm a knuckle dragger. I like to headbutt things. I like to smash people, but I like to get paid for it. But at the end of the day, I'm a Formula One fan. I'm a car guy. I'm a father. I'm a husband, and he and I met on the sidelines. My boy plays hopefully is about to play for Colorado.
He's playing. He's a freshman. He's playing for sure.
Yeah, we'll see, man. It's a weird dynamic because going into August, everybody's got to be on scholarship, and he's a preferred walk-on, and so they're doing away with scholarship, or they're doing away with walk-ons, and so he's got to earn that scholarship. So we don't take anything for granted. He might be a Goldberg, but he's got to earn every freaking part of it. So
sure.
We're looking forward to that. He'll be home this weekend, which is wonderful.
Nice.
But I'm just a normal guy. We live on a couple hundred acres here in Texas, and we got a bunch of animals. And my wife's into the animal rescue, and I'm into car stuff. That's kind of all I do. So
where in Texas are you? Where are you based?
Well, we're close to San Antonio, let's just say.
Oh, okay. Oh,
nice.
And see, here's part of my garage, and here, let's segue over to the other side.
Let's do a tour. It's so weird. We have so much my garage looks just the same.
And there's the other side. There's the other side of the garage.
Wow.
Oh my, yeah, okay.
Beautiful cars in there. I'm just saying. Hey, that
So
red one I saw.
I'm trying to have some fun, I mean, I've got, I don't know. Here's a Cobra that I'm working on right now. It's only got 900 horsepower and it pops wheelies. But
so, how long have you been building cars, like hands-on like that?
Well, I can't build an entire car myself. I wish I could, but I've been working on these things. I mean, my first car was a '76 Trans Am that I completely took apart. I didn't put it back together yet, but I've been a car guy my whole life. My brothers were car guys. My brother's a Ferrari collector. He got me into F1. Used to take me to every year of the Canadian Grand Prix up in Montreal. So he's the Ferrari guy. I'm the muscle car, American 60s to 70s muscle car guy. But I enjoy it, man. I mean, it's an extension of my personality. I drive a TRX. I work for Dodge. I do. Nice. Obviously, I was Santa Claus for Dodge, so there's my sleigh right there that they gave me around Christmas time.
I was wondering what kind of ground effects does he have on that thing over there?
It's the coolest thing ever, man. So I was Santa Claus in 2019, and that was the sleigh we shot the commercial in. And if you look back, Little Nas.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that commercial.
The sleigh, but he can kiss my ass because it's in my garage.
Yeah. Hey, I bet he wouldn't scrap you for it.
Oh no, he would not. No, not a chance.
Yeah. Hey, Travis Treacherous once said you got a Grand National in there.
And I'm the first Jewish Santa Claus, though. So
hey, you gotta love that. Another first. Another first. That's awesome. Yeah,
man. and I have a real sleigh next to it. Look, so I did a movie back in 21 years ago, and I was Santa Claus in the movie. Ironically, I killed a bunch of people, but the cool thing was that I met my wife on that movie. So
yay, we love love.
Yeah, that was a very interesting story. She thought you were Dave Goldblum, right?
You had to bring that up, really?
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. We were friends. Well, I'll set the stage. I'm 300 pounds and I have veins popping out of my traps.
Yeah.
And I'm dressed up as Santa Claus, and we're in a setting which is supposed to be a strip club, and there's 39 or 29 naked women in there, and there's one that's fully clothed, and I have to do the scene with her because she's the stunt woman, and I was extremely embarrassed, and I can't get into all the details, but let's just say that I'm such a wonderful human being that my morals are so high that I ended up marrying the only one in that room with clothes on.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
Hey, Goldberg.
What a modern day love story.
I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. You know, people don't understand, but I can understand. You married the only one that had clothes on.
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna say no more. I ain't gonna want to offend nobody.
Speaks to the character of myself.
Thank you.
So were you walking around looking at the sky the whole time until you looked into her eyes the whole movie?
No, because if I looked at the sky, we were doing the rehearsal and I was hanging from a swing, and she was sitting on the swing. So if I looked up, I was looking up her skirt thing. I couldn't. So I was hanging like this, and she walks in, but I'll back up to go to your story. She walks in and she goes, "Where's Jeff Goldblum?"
Yeah.
And they start laughing and they go, "Who?" And she goes, "Jeff Goldblum." And they said, "No, you mean Goldberg." And she goes, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah. Oh, no.
And that was crushing. And then they said, "Oh, he's this big famous wrestler." And she goes, "Oh, you mean that fake crap?"
Oh, no.
Yeah, strike two.
Meanwhile, you get destroyed, like limping on the set. Like, fake? Really? Like, what's going on?
It's all good. I ended up with the girl, so that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, man. You must have liked her a lot, too, because you've been real good on set. Attaboy.
I loved her, man. Are you kidding me? I told her I loved her immediately upon meeting her.
Oh, man.
We got married 3.5 months later.
Wow.
I love that.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Guys, we've never talked about love stories on the sports broadcast before on Noonish.
Well, you have to have a lot of testosterone to even out the love story.
Yeah. Hey, that's another first. That's another first for you right there.
Another first. Well, I want to let the guys ask their questions, but I have a very important one as the F1 correspondent for the show. Who's your team? Who are we watching? Who do we like? What drivers do we like?
You know, truthfully, I'm not a fan of any one team by any stretch of the imagination. I just like the event, right? I'm a NASCAR guy. I grew up around NASCAR. I drove in Bill Elliott's Cobra with Chase when he was 4 years old.
Nice.
That shows how old I am. But I, you know, and I'm a Chase Elliott fan, but I'm a motorsports fan. So
Same.
I enjoy. It's like the NFL. I played in the NFL. Played for a number of teams, and then I played against the others. And so now looking back, I'm not a fan of one team by any means. I just like the sport. So that's the way I can get out of, you know, saying that I'm I'm affiliated with one team. But that's good. Yeah, I just love the sport. I truly do. The advancement that's been made, and I drive most of the tracks because through a company called Viral, I have one of the coolest simulators on the planet right over here.
Nice.
And I was driving the Nürburgring earlier today. So
I love it. I bring that up all the time.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I just love motorsports. I really do. Whether it's monster trucks or what, I mean, I'm quite eclectic in the stuff that I view. I got a show coming out in probably a month on Paramount Plus. It's called Carlectables.
Okay.
And I did a bunch of really cool stuff, whether it's driving, 750 LT McLarens or driving with Hennessy and the new F5 Venom.
Yeah.
I like speed, that's for sure. I mean, I've got a 1700 horsepower Charger over there. And my daily driver's a 1,000 horsepower TRX. So yeah, I'm a car guy.
Yeah,
you've been behind the wheel of some very vicious vehicles, man. Just that's crazy. I can't imagine the speed. Like, that's insane. I love it. Tell me, I gotta back up and kind of cross over to football. Back to football. Something I thought was very interesting that I didn't know about you, because we paid homage to this young man, a couple years ago when he passed away, unfortunately. But you were drafted by the Los Angeles Rams.
And he was my roommate.
Kevin Greene. What? Like, how? Yeah, that's Kevin one of those things that just so happened, like craziness, right? And he introduced you to wrestling as well, right? Kevin did like a Hulk Hogan impersonation.
Kevin did the best Hulk Hogan impression, and he goes, "Man, you ought to get into wrestling." I'm like, "There is no way I'm doing that. I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
And I was honored and privileged. I've done a lot of cool things in my life, and I mean, I had him as a roommate in camp one year, and we became friends, and then. You fast forward, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years later, and damn, he's at WCW, and he and I got to wrestle together.
That's crazy.
I mean,
insane.
Whoever. And then one of the coolest things, I mean, wrestling was cool enough, but there was a show called Pros versus Joes.
Yep.
I remember that. Yeah, I love that show.
He and I put 2 guys in the hospital on that show.
Hey, you know what?
It was awesome.
You know what,
awesome.
Goldberg?
I love it.
And he tackled the guy. And,
let me say one thing.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for putting them guys in the hospital. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Because I get tired of these Joes trying to act like they pros. They not.
How about
thank
this?
you.
Here's the cool one. You'll appreciate this. John Rocker was on one of the episodes that we did. And we all came up with the games that the Joes had to do against us. And so Rocker, his game was that the guy would get up to the plate and Rocker would brush him back, and the dude would have to rush the mound and take Rocker off of the mound within a 10-second period of time.
What?
That was hilarious.
Oh, Rocker was a nut too. That's a big man. People don't realize how big pitchers are.
Nope.
Pitchers are big dudes.
Good size
Clemens,
man. Oh, Roger's huge. His head
Clemens
is massive.
was like 6'5", 250. I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah, so I was at I forget what event it was, but he was there, and I met him, and I did not realize he was. I mean, I should have known. The dude was, I mean, a big man. I'm talking just tree trunks for legs, like just big dudes, man. People don't realize how big baseball players, and I'm telling them, look, man, I got tired of facing these big dudes every day. Like throw me a 5'10" guy, throw me a 5'11" dude throwing changeups, hit 89 just once. Because this big, massive dude pounding 94, 95 on these corners, I'm tired of it already.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful. So you pitched in baseball? I can't see you on the bump. I
pitched and I caught.
Okay.
I caught, and actually my son, he didn't know he was going to play football until his senior year in college because he was a baseball player.
Oh wow!
This kid had 2 guys steal on him his senior year. That was it. He threw every other dude out. He had a pop time of guys in the majors, comparable to them. One of his good friends is Jose Trevino, who was the catcher for the Yankees, and I think he's with the Reds.
He got for the
now.
Rangers for a little bit. He started with the Rangers before he went to the Yankees.
Yeah, he started with the Rangers, and he was a second baseman or something like that. And then they turned him into a freaking catcher. But baseball was a lot of fun for me. But I kind of outgrew it a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to say so myself. I mean, 6'4", 6'3", 300 pounds in the ring, and bro, like, oh my gosh, I loved your character in the ring because you had like this crazy like Twitch thing going on,
That's
just
me.
like destroying dudes, bro.
I walk around Twitch and spit on the floor everywhere I go.
Hey,
so weird. That's exactly what I do as well.
I was just thinking that some of that probably wasn't acting. Some of that was for real.
Can I just let y'all in on one thing?
Yeah,
none of it was acting.
Really?
Oh, okay, good.
So you really that kind of crazy in that moment then. I love it.
That is me.
Yeah, and I just have one question for you. This is I'm not trying to get you to name any names. This is a yes or no question. Did you ever have to rough up somebody for real?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get you to name names. Okay, that's all I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean, guy hits you in the head with a chair the wrong way, you got to get retribution.
Oh yeah. Okay.
yeah. So it's a lot of real fighting going on in there. And I hear you and Brock weren't too fond of each other. Is that?
No,
is that
Brock was a good dude, man.
Okay, so who didn't you like?
See, he's trying to get you to name names. I'm not into that. That's him. That's not me, man.
I didn't like a lot. I didn't like a lot of them. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
But not a lot of them really understood me, and I didn't understand them, and I didn't understand the business at the time, and I took things very seriously because, at the end of the day, the only person that controls your character and has his best interest at heart is you.
Absolutely.
And I was a football player going into a completely different entity, which was professional wrestling, and these guys weren't me, and they were different people, and I had to learn that, and I had to be humiliated a little bit, and I mean, you just got to learn, man, and then learn how to coexist, and I still. To this day, I tell people, I talked to CU. I talked to the defense one day, and I said, you guys see me as some dude who's done everything, right? But the truth is that I'm no different than Sapp, right? Than Warren. I was a defensive lineman. I was a knuckle dragger. I just like to smash people, and I'm not pretentious. I'm nothing. I'm a physical guy.
Yeah,
and that's how I express myself.
I love it.
There's nothing wrong with that,
No, it isn't.
I saw a lot of me and you, Goldberg. I saw a lot of me and you, man.
Well, that's another reason why I'm always a man of my word, but that's why I said I'd do your show, right? I mean, you meet people, and within a very short period of time, you kind of connect, and there was a reason why I said I'd do your show, and that's why I'm here.
And we absolutely appreciate it, man. I know I told you 15 to 30 minutes, man. I could go on forever, but I want to keep my word and be respectful of your time. I know you just got off of a podcast yourself. There's so much more I want to talk about, man. But hopefully, if I reach back out, maybe you'll come back on. But
100%.
One last question. So your big announcement, I hear there's some type of a retirement situation going on. Can you please fill me in a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I can't get into specifics because I really don't know, but within by the end of 2025, I think I will be donning those BVDs again, and I will finally get my retirement match, though it is at an accelerated age of 58 years old. Yes. And I will not look the same or perform the same, but I do deserve to go out the way I want to go out. And
absolutely,
prior to this opportunity, I did not get the opportunity to do it the way I wanted. My last match, I agreed to 3 weeks after I had COVID.
Oh my gosh.
And so I hadn't worked out. I was 50 something years old. I mean, I wasn't able to perform to the best of my ability by any stretch of the imagination. So to make an extremely long story short, I'm finally getting the opportunity, and hopefully I perform admirably so that on the way out the door, I can do nothing but hold my head up high.
Oh man. You can hold your head up now, man, as far as I'm concerned.
Your head can touch your ass crack as far as I'm concerned. Like, ain't no reason for you to hold your head down, man, because, I know it was a rough little situation. I know exactly which fight you're talking about. I was talking to my son about it last night, and I was like, bro, I'd love to see him back in that ring one more time, just getting after it like I know he can, So if logistics work out, man, I would love to absolutely be there, bro, for your last fight. That would be an amazing event, man.
Oh, yeah, man, that would.
For sure. But Goldberg, stand-up dude, man, top-notch human. That's why you get the respect you do. That's why you get the blessings you've received, bro. And we'll be tuned in, man, listening for your next fight. But we absolutely appreciate you tuning in and taking the time out of your day to come speak with us.
It's absolutely my pleasure, my brother. I appreciate it greatly. And anytime you guys want me on, it'd be an honor and a privilege. And it's very nice to meet everybody. And
tell us again where and when we can watch your show.
Well, I don't know specifically when yet because Paramount Plus has not told me. I just got an email this morning as to probably the strategy that they're going to do pushing it out. It's probably going to be at the end of the first quarter. It's 8 episodes. It's a show called Carlectables. It's really bitchin'. I had a great time.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I put motors together on an assembly line. I traded cars. I flew in a helicopter and then drove in the F5. I did all kind of cool stuff that people would love to do. So it's on Paramount Plus. Look for it. And you know, I have Goldberg's Garage on YouTube that I'm gonna get back to here soon. And
you got a show with Adam Carolla co-hosting one right now, right?
Yeah, that's the one I just got off of. I do it every Wednesday. It's called CarCast.
Nice.
And yeah, so I'm a car guy, man. So
hey, y'all tap in the CarCast, man. Everything Goldberg's doing, y'all tap all the way in, man. But thank you so much for blessing us with this interview today, Mr. Bill Goldberg, man. Y'all put your hands.
Thank you very much, y'all. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
You too, man.
Bye.
Have a great one.